This week's lesson is about how companies collect your data anytime you log on the internet and are browsing on a website or social media platform. So we're going to talk about the upsides and the downsides to companies collecting your data, how they go about collecting it, how they use that data to then target you and put certain products in front of you so you're more likely to purchase them, and then how it's kind of an invasion of your privacy and what steps you can take in order to protect yourself from data being collected when you're browsing on the internet. Just an overview. So I have a short little video about how they are targeting and tracking you online, and then we'll discuss strategies for protecting your personal information when you do decide to go online. So first off, just think about the different kinds of information that you have about yourself online, things such as your profile information. You might fill in interest or your location, your school name, the year you graduate, photos of your friends, your family, what you did over the weekend. And then think about what else you do online that reflects who you are. So think about the websites that you visit, the videos that you like on YouTube, the music that you listen to on Spotify, the websites that you shop on, and then the things that you actually Google search, so the topics that you're looking up. All of that information can be collected by companies and then used to target you with certain information. Some of the key vocabulary we'll talk about is tracking. So you're going to hear me say tracking and targeting, and you need to be familiar with the difference. So tracking is when companies are actually collecting information about you based on your online behavior. So they're tracking what websites you're visiting. They're tracking what links you're clicking on, what images you're clicking, the different terms that you're searching on the internet. And then targeting is then taking that information that they've collected about you and tailoring content that you see whenever you visit certain websites. So they basically create these little profiles of you. And every time you visit a website, that profile information is then going to reveal information to the website that you're visiting so that they can then put certain products and services in front of you so you're more likely to purchase them. Some of the common companies that do things like this are going to be Facebook, Amazon, Pandora, Netflix. All of them use data tracking to then provide you with targeted ads so that when you visit their websites or their social platforms, they can provide a more customized experience for you. But sometimes it's freaky how much information they know about you and the things that you're able to see. This is just an example of Facebook and Amazon. So on Facebook, over here on the right-hand side, they're going to have suggested or sponsored ads. And surprisingly, they're customized to your particular location or age category. As well as on Amazon, they have suggestions on things that you might be interested in purchasing. They use that information of things that you've clicked on and looked at in order to populate these categories of potential products that you might be interested in, because every time you log on, if they're more likely to put products in front of you that you're likely to purchase, that ultimately means a sale for them. So we're going to watch this video, just a quick example showing you and talking about how companies do online tracking. So that video showed you how companies take your digital trail when you're online and use that to really narrow down your search results that you're presented. So you saw in the video how the girl was all into sports, baseball, things like that. The guy was all into baking and cupcakes. And when they both searched the word batter, yes, it batter in baseball and batter in cooking are both spelled the same way, but you saw the search results that popped up for each of them. And they were specific to their preferences and common likes. And say the girl who enjoys baseball genuinely wants to look up information about batter, she's going to be restricted by Google because she's so often searched for things related to baseball, and vice versa. Same would happen for the other guy. So when it comes to searching, they collect information and track you. They use usually demographic information, and that's basically your age, gender, and race. And they're going to separate you into different categories based on those pieces of information. Also in data tracking, there's something called cookies. This is not cookies that you eat. It's basically little data files that are stored on your computer every time you visit different sites. So imagine that you are eating a cookie as you visit these different websites. And when you eat cookies, crumbs are constantly falling. Same idea with visiting websites. Every time you visit a website, crumbs fall onto your computer in the form of these cookie data files. And then when you go back to that website, they're able to retrieve those cookie data files and see the preferences and the search history that you previously used before when visiting their website. So the main example I can give you is cookies are used that if you visit a website and put some things in your shopping cart, and then a week later you go back and visit that same website and those same products are still in your shopping cart, that's because of these cookies that the website basically placed on your computer so that they can reference back to you specifically every time you visit their website and provide you with a more personalized experience. So some of the most popular ways beyond cookies that companies are tracking you are going to be through JavaScript. So JavaScript is going to be that coding language used in the background of building a website. Also images. Anytime you click on an image, that can be tracking you, as well as iframes. Iframes are going to be like little sidebars or advertisements that either pop up or appear on the outskirts of websites that if you were to click on those, that would be collecting information about you as well. So who's tracking you online? There's 3 different types of categories that are tracking you. You've got your social buttons, you've got your advertising networks, and your third-party tracking companies who then would sell your information. So social buttons basically tell social networks everything you're doing on the web. So then they can use that information to provide you with customized advertisements as well as sponsored ads for whenever people are using ad placements on those social platforms. Advertising networks are, they're constantly putting together these profiles about you as you surf across the web. They want to lump you into these demographic and personal interest categories so that anytime you visit a website, they're able to customize the advertisements that you're seeing, likely increasing the amount of products that a company is able to sell. And then your third-party tracking companies, they're just monitoring your activities on different websites. They're looking at your browsing history, the things that you're clicking on, the items that you're purchasing, as well as videos that you're watching. So information that they're particular collecting would be purchases that you're making, links, images, videos that you're clicking on, as well as website history, previous websites that you've visited. They're looking at your social networking activities as well as your profile information. and also articles that you may be reading on the internet. So there's risks that come with companies collecting your information online. A lot of the time, you can experience lower credit scores as well as lower credit limits because they're constantly collecting this information about you. Then, when you go visit websites, they might be able to retrieve some of this information and offer a lower credit limit because they're able to see this digital profile that's been created for you. Also, price discrimination. If a company sees that you're visiting their website on a regular basis every week, maybe monitoring a particular price, they might increase their price because they know that you're really, really wanting to purchase this item, and they think, well, they really want to purchase it. We're going to leave it at this high price to make sure that we get the most money out of them because they're likely to purchase it. Because they're so consistently visiting our website. A lot of travel companies tend to do that. Denial of insurance coverage or offering more expensive coverage because they see your website history, your previous purchases, your profile information from different websites, and they're able to say, okay, she can afford the more expensive coverage, and basically use that information against you. Lost job opportunities. Obviously, this would be as if you were like searching for a particular job opening and your search results are being very narrowed down because of your previous website browsing history. They're really going to narrow down the results that are provided to you. But again, it can cause you to lose out on other job opportunities that you might be interested in because they're choosing to narrow down the search results that you're provided with. As well as identity theft. If the wrong people get their hands on this information, it could be bad news for you. So I'll leave you with 5 tips to protect your online privacy. Basically, stop secret tracking with browser add-ons such as Google Sharing. So you can sign up for Google Sharing and it can stop these add-ons to website browsers so that they can't secretly track your browsing history and the websites that you're visiting. Make sure that when you're on social networks that you're setting strict privacy settings. Only use websites that are secure websites, which is HTTPS. If it doesn't have an S on the end, then it's not a secure website, and I would suggest you not putting in any kind of credit card information or other personal information. Or connect to websites or browsers using a virtual private network or what's called a VPN. You want to make sure to delete your information from companies that are publicly displaying it and or selling it. So there's some companies out there like White Pages. You can go look up your information on White Pages and it can tell people your home address, your phone number, your siblings' names, your parents' names, the age range that they're in, and you can actually submit a request to these companies to remove your information from their website. And then avoid providing websites with your personal information if it's not absolutely necessary. A few more tips to limit data collection for you personally. Don't provide your email address to mailing lists unless it's necessary. Unsubscribe from any listservs. Listservs are going to be those automatic subscription emails that you get pushed every single month. Make sure that you unsubscribe from those if you're not regularly purchasing things from those companies. No need to be on their listserv. Limit the number of ads that you click on. Yes, those ads are there on websites to kind of promote you to purchase the products, but the more ads that you click on, the more ads you're going to see because they're like, hey, she really likes these products. We need to put more of these things in front of her, so she's likely to purchase. Make sure that you have an antivirus software so that if you do visit any unprotected, unsecure websites, that your device is protected from viruses. You can disable your cookies. However, a lot of websites won't let you browse their website if you don't have your cookies enabled. It's now also a regulation that websites let you know that they're using cookies and collecting your information as you're browsing their website. So now when you visit websites, you might see a banner notifying you, hey, we're collecting information. Are you okay with us collecting your cookies? And you have to click I accept. Also, you can choose to block pop-up ads in your browser so that when you're browsing websites, they can't pop up with different ads, potentially provoking you to click on them.